So I just recently completed Batman Arkham Knight, twice actually, to get 240%. And I was able to unlock the Nightfall cutscene. Now, ever since the game came out, this cutscene has caused a lot of debate as to who is the Demon Bat. Well, in today's video, I'm going to try and explain and give three theories as to who or what I think the Demon Bat is. But before we get started, I need you guys to do me two things. Number one, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Science shows that only 0.5% of my viewers are subscribed, so go ahead and subscribe to stay up to date with all my videos. Also, if you end up enjoying this video, don't forget that thumbs up button. So just to summarize what happens during the Nightfall ending. Basically, Batman takes off his mask, leaves it on the bat symbol on top of GCPD. Then, as Bruce Wayne heads on off to Wayne Manor, where the door closes and it explodes. But that's not the end of it. At the very conclusion of this cutscene, we get to see two thugs basically recreating what happened to Bruce Wayne back when his parents died. But this time, what's different is that there is actually a secret Batman that people have dubbed the Demon Bat watching over them and basically freaks out the goons. But who is the Demon Bat? Well, the first theory I'm going to talk about is that it is actually one of the members of the Bat family or another one of Batman's allies. Side note, why this theory of the Bat family doesn't necessarily work is because most of them get their own DLCs that follow up the story of Arkham Knight. Basically, we get a Robin DLC, a Nightwing DLC, a Catwoman DLC, and a Red Hood DLC. All of them take place after the game, which means that all of them have continued in their current role, and none of them have taken up the mantle of Batman. That leaves only one person that seems to have at least some sort of a friendly connection with Batman, and that is Azrael. Now, this holds some comic book credit because in the Nightfall storyline, sharing the name with the Nightfall Protocol, we see the debuting Bane breaks Batman's back, which leaves Batman unable to continue crime fighting and giving the mantle to Azrael. Now, the issue with this is that, number one, the person who is Azrael in that storyline is called Jean-Paul Valley, whereas in this game it is explicitly said that Azrael's real name is Michael Lane. Michael Lane in the comics never takes up the mantle of Batman, so if they're following the comic books, this isn't entirely correct. The second thing is that there are actually two endings to Azrael's side quest. The first one is that Azrael quits following the Order of Saint Dumas, gaining the trust of Batman, which can actually set him up to be the next Batman. However, if you choose the other ending, Azrael will literally take a stab at Batman, gets countered, and then gets taken to GCPD. Now, unless in this ending he ends up leaving GCPD, it is highly unlikely that he is able to become the new Batman, which is why I think this theory ranks lower on the list, which is why I'm talking about it first, and why I think it is probably not entirely correct. The second thing is that it is possible that what we saw is true. Bruce Wayne did die along with Batman, but Batman's memory still lives on. Remember at the beginning of the video when I said that I'm going to tell you who or what Batman is? I'm going to talk about that right now. So let's go back to the very beginning of this game, where we see the entire city of Gotham basically fall into chaos with a small sample of Scarecrow's new toxin. Now, these are all normal people, just like the goons at the very end, and they have not the greatest resistance against fear. So it is highly likely that just like the entire city was able to hallucinate different things, it is very possible that the two goons were the ones hallucinating of the demon bat. The second proof is that Batman actually ends up getting infected with Scarecrow's toxin during the Ace Chemicals mission, and he ends up hallucinating the Joker for the entire rest of the game. So if someone as strong as Batman is able to still get the effects of the toxin and continue with that until the very end of the game, imagine what it would do to people with normal resistances to fear. And then the third reason is that it is not explicitly said that the effects of Scarecrow's toxin from the cloudburst was entirely removed from the city thanks to Poison Ivy and Batman's efforts. So it is entirely possible that the effects of Scarecrow's toxin are still being felt throughout the city, which means that some people, such as the goons, are going to be reliving their greatest fear, which is Batman, which means that Batman throughout his lifetime was able to do basically what he kind of wanted, and that is to make people afraid in order to stop crime. What adds on to the theory is that it is not shown that the little boy in the alley actually saw the demon bat. We only saw the demon bat from the perspective of the goons. I know that was a lot of words, but basically what I'm trying to say is that the demon bat is a hallucination from the criminals of Gotham because of Batman's influence. And even though Batman is gone, his memory and his legacy still live on within the hearts of the people of Gotham. And now the final theory, which is probably my favorite, is that Bruce Wayne doesn't actually end up dying. Take a look at what Batman says to Catwoman during the second to last mission in Riddler's Revenge side quest.
Gotham needs something more, something worse to defend her. She needs a new myth, a legend more powerful than I can be right now. A legend that can only rise from the ashes of the Batman.
So Gotham needs a new myth, something stronger than what Batman can be right at that moment. That could mean that he needs to get away from his Bruce Wayne persona. And what's the best way to do that? Make people believe that Bruce Wayne died. It is entirely possible that through some chicanery, Bruce Wayne and Alfred were able to hide probably in the Batcave and escape from the explosion, but still giving the illusion that Bruce Wayne perished along with his house and his butler. Which means people will no longer be looking for Bruce Wayne. And if they end up seeing Batman, they're going to think that there is someone else taking over the mantle and they will never know who it is when it is actually the original Batman. It is still Bruce Wayne under the cowl. But now he can devote his entire time and energy into being Batman, the savior of Gotham, rather than being the guy who got his parents killed and who ended up building a fortune and an entire company based around him. Of course, on the other hand, it is also entirely possible that nothing happened behind the scenes of the Wayne Manor explosion and that indeed Bruce Wayne and Alfred died with the Wayne Manor. But I guess we'll never know unless we get some sort of confirmation during the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game, which is supposedly coming out, I believe, next year. It is also made by Rocksteady, the guys who made the Arkham series, and it is set in the same universe. So, because it is a Justice League game and Batman is very involved with the Justice League, we're probably going to get an answer to the Nightfall Protocol. But I do want to know what you guys think of the Nightfall Protocol. So down in the comments section below, let me know if you agree with any of these theories or if you have a theory of your own, definitely drop it down there. But with all that in mind, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.